Everyone, welcome on the dot tonight, guys. I am on the dots, no lateness here. How is everyone? I'll see you guys all chatting. Who's excited for the Mexican Grand Prix? We're in for a good one, guys. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Marlene, Sahar, Veronica. Welcome, and anyone else who is here as well and too shy to say hello. Yes, Mexican Grand Prix. I've been waiting for this all day. I've got my coffee. I'm prepped. I've had a nice chilled Sunday, a nice roast dinner. So, yes, I am fully prepared for today. So, yeah. Not long until we get going, so everyone is at the grid. Apparently Fernando Alonso had went off track somewhere. I saw Lando Norris locking up slightly in a couple of areas, and yeah, it seems like Magnussen has got an issue with his car. But news, guys, in regards to penalties, it seems like Stroll is starting from 20th position, so he's taken a penalty somewhere in regards to his engine, but everything is in order. Hey Pav, welcome. Kat, good to see ya. Spud, Vamos Perez, yes, can he do it? Is it going to be one of the Mercedes? Is Max Verstappen going to run away with it? Let's just hope for a good race. Let's hope for a good race. Also, penalties from the USGP. That's why. That is why. It's not an engine penalty. It is a 5-place grid penalty for the incident with Alonso last week. That's why. That was why. But hey Rick, welcome. Good to see ya. Watching this with a box of foxes in front of the fire. Oh, nice. Very nice. But yeah, let's head on over, shall we, and have a look at the ideal strategies from Pirelli and who has got what tyres remaining. Because, guys, I don't know if you remember me saying I was correct in that the top 6 were saving those medium tyres. That's exactly what they're doing. They've got no brand new softs available, but they've got 2 sets of mediums available to them. So let's just jump and have a look at those strategies. So, first and foremost, guys, let's have a look at the tyre allocations. We have here Hamilton and Russell, Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc and Sainz, all with the same tyres available to them today. 1 set of new hards, 2 sets of mediums, and all 3 soft tyres used. So seems like the strategy, which we'll show you in a second, looks like it's going to be soft to... Oh my god, the cat is flying. It's already started. You see her, George? She flew. She just went. There she is now. She just leaped. Absolutely leaped. Yeah, that's the missus' job this afternoon, guys, is to keep an eye on the cat. That's your job. Don't you give me those eyes. That's your job. So yeah, all the top 6, they have basically the same tyres available. And then if you look further down the grid, Danny Rick has 1 set of hards, 1 set of mediums, and 1 set of new softs as well. Those softs could be important at the start of the race, or depending on what tyre they're going to start on, maybe towards the end. And then, yeah, Albon and Latifi and Magnussen and Schumacher have 2 new sets of mediums. So we're going to see a varying strategy, I think, deployed from the midfields. But who knows what they're going to do at the start. I think they'll run pretty similar strategies, and it will be done. The racing will be done out on track. Kat is excited for the race. She is. No. She's not going to ruin the stream because I'm not. I don't have my VR headset on, so she can't turn off my PC. So that's fine. It's absolutely fine. We can see what she's doing. Welcome, Lemon. Good to see you. Hey, Brandon. Good to see you back, buddy. But yes, Albon had a shocking quali. Seemed like he had a big snap in the S's, and that's why he struggled. But let's have a look at the strategies, guys. So we can see here that really the strategy and the fastest strategy is starting on the soft tyre and then going to mediums. No one at the front has a brand new set of softs available to them. So Danny Rick, if they're starting on the softs, Danny Rick could make his way up the grid at the start with that little bit of extra grip that he's got. And then it seems like the one stop is very close, but I just don't see the one stop being viable today. The only way a one stop will come into play if there's a safety car, which we normally get round here. And then another varying two stop with soft tyres, but I don't really see that being effective today. The soft, medium to soft. All depends on safety cars, but I think most people will be going for that top strategy, the ideal one. So, yeah, there we go. But let's jump to the grid in itself. Here we are, guys. This is what we want to see. This is what we're here for. Shiloh, thank you for the sub, buddy. Welcome, welcome. And for anyone who is looking for some race reviews as well this evening, or even in your Monday commute tomorrow, I will be on the Missed Apex podcast straight after this stream. We'll be discussing the weekend as a whole, and of course what happened in today's watch along. So yeah, be sure to go head over there. You'll see my pretty face on it. But Bottas may win. Yeah, Bottas is sneaky here. Of course, they're just going to be wanting to gain a number of points. But Bottas, man, yeah, what a performance yesterday. Up in 6th position. So glad that he's not had to take any new parts. The Alfa Romeo, hopefully, fingers crossed, it sticks around until the end of the race. Because, yeah, he could throw a right spanner in the works today in those top guys. I think with the way Ferrari is generally on their pace here this weekend, he could generally be pushing those Ferraris today. That's a bold call by me, but it's a possibility. That's all right, Marlin. No worries, buddy. Always good to see you here anyway. If the race would be like Kota, tyre deterioration won't apply to Haas. Well, yeah, I mean, this track isn't really known for its tyre deterioration, but what we will see is high track temperatures due to the low air pressure. The track warms up a lot quicker in lower temperatures. I mean, it's already 42 degrees Celsius, guys. That is hot. And we've got an air temperature of only 24 degrees. So it's a big disparity there, but we don't normally see it at other tracks. And yes, we're using a softer compound tyre as well. So the tyre just naturally degrades quicker because there's not as many corners around here. So that's why the two-stop is in use. And that's why the two-stop is good for us fans as well. We love to see a two-stop. Actually makes things interesting. 8 o'clock. Track is still slippy in Sector 7. Yes, I think it will be through the S's. Some cars, that's really where the downforce comes into play. So due to the high altitude that we've got here and the low air pressure, we don't have as much drag and as much air. So the guys that aren't generally that good in high downforce tracks struggle really with this sector, which is why we saw the Williams struggle. Seems like Ferrari's really struggling here this week with that sector as well. And the Red Bull. This is where the Red Bull is actually struggling quite a bit. I was watching the comparison laps earlier of Russell and Max Verstappen's laps. They were actually neck and neck going into the stadium. George Russell made up a whole host of time through the S's. The Mercedes just looks so planted compared to the Red Bull. So yeah, we could see, I mean, I think the Mercedes, as we know, these cars can follow a lot closer than previous years. So generally could be an overtaking opportunity down into the entry of the stadium with that little DRS there, which we haven't really seen in previous years due to the cars. But Marlin, no worries, buddy. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. 39 people, only 16 likes. Oh, it's 40 people now. But yeah, guys, if you could hit the like button, it'd be much appreciated. If we could get over 100 likes, that'd be brilliant. There's only a few of us doing F1 watch-alongs on here and on YouTube, and I'd like to be at the top. So yeah, and we're also live streaming on Twitch as well. So if anyone is at Twitch watching, welcome everyone. You can chat on Twitch, and I'll be able to see that on the screen in front of you in the live chat. But yeah, you'll have a better chance of speaking to me and me answering your questions or just interacting with you over on YouTube. So, will Max retire from worn engines? No. I mean, if there's anywhere it's going to be here. But realistically, that Red Bull is just too reliable. This is going to be sorted out on track today, and that's where we want to see it. We want to see it sorted on track, and I think the Mercedes do have what it takes to take it to the Red Bulls today, because I'm not ruling out Perez either. All the talk has been about the Mercedes and Verstappen. Perez wants to win this race. It's his home Grand Prix. He's in 4th position. He's going to have a similar scenario to Hamilton, where he's going to be able to get that draft in the 2nd row down into the main straight. So if Perez beats Hamilton off the line, then Perez could quite easily sweep rounds as well. So you'll cry if Bottas gets a bad start. Yeah, me too. And Ricciardo. I don't want Ricciardo to have a bad start. Hopefully, if he's starting on the softs. We've got a few more minutes left yet. I mean, normally it's around 10 minutes to the start of the race, or 5 minutes from the start of the race, where we actually see the tyre blankets come off. And then that's when we see what tyres everyone is starting on. You'll be able to see the start of the race on a small TV in a bowling stream. Ah, fair enough, mate. No bots for the whole weekend so far. Yeah, hopefully not. Well, that's what you mods are here for. Keep an eye on the stream for us. Nothing's happened yet, Matt. Nothing has happened yet. We are waiting for... Everyone's gridding up. We are waiting for the start of the Grand Prix. I'm actually just charging up my phone at the moment. So once that's charged, I'll be getting the video stream up and keeping you guys updated with what Sky are saying. I definitely won't have any words from Max Verstappen, will they? Or anyone from Red Bull, because Red Bull are boycotting Sky F1 this weekend due to Ted Kravitz saying that Max won the F1 World Championship last year in controversial circumstances. So, yeah, the man was only speaking facts, really, and apparently Just Verstappen is the one who's pushed it and has said to them, no, like, you're not to speak to him. You're not to speak to him this weekend, and everyone's doing it, so... You think Max was right not to talk to Sky News? The championship controversy is obviously water under the bridge between Max and Lewis, and he clearly just wants to move on from it. Yeah, well, it might be water under the bridge for Max and Lewis, but I mean, there's still... The cost cap has brought that all back up, hasn't it? The cost cap has brought up the fact of that they overspent in 2021, so it's valid questioning, really. All he said was, look, Max has kind of not won two... He's won 2 championships with controversy surrounding them. He didn't attack Max. He didn't attack Red Bull. He was just saying that that's what it is, and they've taken exception to that. So I think it's a bit. I think Red Bull were on the back foot this weekend in regards to PR, and they've just probably had enough. But anyway, it's what you want to see from journalists. You want to see journalists speak their true opinion and ask the tough questions. You don't want them to sit there and just accept everything that that is controversial and just go, oh no, we shouldn't be talking about that. Like, we want to hear people's opinions and people's thoughts, and if people can't take that, then look, it just shows people's kind of true colours, really, doesn't it? I don't think it's Max. I think apparently it's come from Jos Verstappen, and that doesn't surprise me, to be fair. Or Helmut Marko, one of those two. I don't think Max really cares. If you could, without copyright issues, would you play the race instead of Watchalong? You know what? I don't even know if I would now. I'd use it in a little small screen as support for what we watch here, but I feel like we see so much more of the race here with the data, with the timings, with the track map. I watch TV now. I watch the race back, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was like good. It's good. I like that my stream is slightly a little bit behind because we can then see in person what happens on here. But you see so much more of the race as a whole through how we're watching it now. Max has to focus on the race, not answer for FIA and Red Bull's choices. Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, it's not Max's. Max took that opportunity last year, and so would any other driver. Now, you can argue maybe he over-celebrated, blah, 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 but it's in the moment. I see why he celebrated the way he did, and the same with Red Bull. And do you know what? Any other driver in any other team would do the same thing in that situation. It's not Max's fault that a mistake was made on the officials' behalf. Likewise, it's not his fault that Red Bull overspent and all this controversy now. That's not his fault. He can only drive the car that's put in front of him and can only drive against the people that's put in front of him in the scenarios that there are. So, yeah, it's a shame that really there is this controversy around his championships, but that's down to other people. Yeah, and that should be questions. It should be questions. So, how we know about crashes? I hope George don't hit anyone today. Yeah, well, there's always the possibility. I think for the last 2 years we've been here, there's been contact down into T1 because it's the longest straight, or it's the longest run down into a first corner on the calendar. So they get up to very high speeds, a lot of cars in a very small space of track into a small braking zone, and yeah, it's 3 or 4 doesn't go into 1, as they say. So that's why we see some accidents. Hopefully we don't, and everyone gets away cleanly, because that's what we want. But yeah, it does happen around here. Hope it doesn't pick up any debris this race. Yeah, he always does. Or Magnussen. Magnussen has a habit of picking up debris, doesn't he? And knocking his front wing end plate off. Guess who'll wreck into turn 1? Yeah, I don't know. You feel like it's almost going to be... It could be the guys at the front. There could be... Verstappen, he had a good start at Kota, didn't he? But he hasn't... I would say he hasn't been amazing at his starts this year, Verstappen. But he'll be more so than anything wanting to get ahead of those Mercedes today. I think Red Bull genuinely know that Mercedes are a threat today. And there's a lot on offer. There's a few stories going on here today, guys. I did tweet it. Verstappen is going for that record of the most wins in a championship or in a F1 season, 14. So he's got that to play for. We've then got the Mercedes of Russell and Hamilton. Russell going for his first win ever. Hamilton going for his first win of the season to keep that record going. And Mercedes wanting to get their first win of the season. And then we've got Perez wanting to win in front of his home crowd. So those top 4 have their own personal reasons of wanting to win this race today, regardless of championships being wrapped up, which is really interesting. We don't normally see that with races where in the last couple of races where the championship's been wrapped up. Sometimes they can be pretty like naff races, meh races. So. You think Leclerc? Oh, bold call, Cotton. Bold call. Amy, what's my thoughts on the 2023 rookies? Well, who do we have? We have Piastri, we have possibly Logan Sargent, and we have Nick De Vries. They're the 3 rookies, aren't they? I think they're really 3 strong rookies. I would say Logan Sargent is the weakest out of those. De Vries, of course, is the only one who's had an F1 race under his belt with Monza this year. But I think, yeah, we're in for some good... Hopefully everyone up and down the grid next year. I mean, someone said yesterday who's going to replace Latifi as our meme gods in F1. And I don't know. I like to think that everyone on that grid next year is more than capable or should be on the grid for their own merits. The only one you could say that probably isn't on there on merit is Stroll because of his dad owning the team. But everyone else on that grid, I think Tsunoda is lucky. I've said this before, but he's there because Red Bull believe in him. He's been there for 2 seasons now. So everyone on that grid is capable and should be at a really good competitive pace. Hopefully we don't see a Latifi-like scenario next year where someone is so far off the pace of their teammate and everyone else ahead of them. So, Nico Hulkenberg. Why does everyone want Max to win? Because they're Max fans, Dakuri. Max fans, as we just said, Max has his own personal reasons for winning this weekend. He can break the record, and yeah, you're entitled to support who you want. I personally would like to see one of the Mercedes win. I'm British, guys. Yes, British bias. I'd like to see a Brit win this race, and Mercedes haven't won a race this year, so I'd equally as well. I'd quite like Perez to win. If it's not one of the Mercedes, I'd like to see Perez win in front of his home crowd. That'd be a good story as well. And imagine we're going to see Perez a la Monaco again, aren't we? Probably 10 times worse. You want Holcomb back? Hey, Manic. Welcome. Welcome to everyone who's just tuning in. Give me literally 2 seconds. I'm just going to nip and grab my phone so that I can get the Sky F1 stream up, because we are very nearly approaching the start of the race. Minus 10 minutes, guys. So time it. Give me 15 seconds. Now. Oh, look at that. Not even 15 seconds. The missus met me on the stairs. The missus met me on the stairs. Just quickly messaging the Missed Apex Crew podcast. Right. Let's get this stream up. 12 seconds. Was it 12 seconds? Okay. Race is in less than 10 minutes, Mohammed. It is on the hour. Wherever you are in the world, it is, yes, 9 minutes away. Right, let's get Sky F1 up. Do you think Mercedes can win today? Yeah, I do. I do think Mercedes can win today. I'm also hoping that they can at least make it a challenge. I've always said, guys, right, that while I would prefer to see someone else other than Max win this race, and like last week, I said the same thing. As long as we see a fight for it and it's interesting, then I don't care if he wins. Like, fair play to the guy. And that's exactly what we got at Kota last week. And it's the same today as well. I just want to see a fight for it. And while I prefer one of the Mercedes boys to win, one of the Brits, or Perez, if Max wins it out of merit, strategy calls, brilliant driving on track, then that's what I want to see. That excludes finishing 20 seconds down the road. I don't want to see that. I want to see wheel-to-wheel racing. So, do I think that Audi Sauber deal will lead to the championship winning performance they're all talking about? I don't know. It's going to make things interesting. It'd be good to see another manufacturer come into the sports. It's pretty much going to be, well, they've got form, Audi, in motorsport, haven't they? So it'd be interesting to see how that relationship works. Right, there we go. There we go. All set up, guys. All set up. If you can hit that like button, much appreciated. Lewis is actually 37, Bakara. 37. In my opinion, 2022 is kind of boring only because Max and Red Bull have been winning. Well, yeah, I think after the first half, the first half of the season was interesting because Ferrari was still in it. But then we saw, Max was quite far ahead anyway at before Spa when we came back. And that Spa performance was just like obscene, wasn't it? Coming through the grid like he did, winning by the amount of seconds that he did. And that was pretty much now in the coffin for the championship. Something drastically bad had to happen for him to not win the championship from that point. So, Stuffy says he's looking for a 2-week streak. Sets for gym following a big Chinese 2 days prior. 1 day, actually, last night. Which the missus isn't too happy about. Apparently, she's not too happy with me having a Chinese last night. Because even though she was out on the piss and I was at home on my own. So, snooze you lose, as they say. Thoughts on Oscar and Lando being teammates next year? It's going to be an interesting pairing because Lando is top dog at McLaren. I like Lando, really do. I think there's a lot of potential in him. Hopefully, one day he has a car underneath him to be able to fight for leads and championships and race wins. But Piastri is very highly sought after. He's very talented. And Piastri's got his work cut out for him going into a team where Lando is top dog. So Hopefully, Piastri is a little bit more adaptable than, say, Daniel Ricciardo. You don't win 2 back-to-back junior Formula Championships, F3 and F2, without being adaptable. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Very interesting. What do I use to watch F1, Super? I've got it on my mobile. And I've got it on my mobile. And, yeah, I've got it streaming on Sky F1. I normally used to have it on my PC, but it doesn't really work. For some reason, buffers too much. You want 22 drivers on the grid? Yeah, I think there's room for 26 drivers on the grid, personally. But too big of a joining fee in F1. 250 million just for the joining fee alone, and then that's not all the other additional costs to set up your own team, all the factories, the operational costs, the teams, etc. So, sorry, the staff, etc. You reckon we'll have 20? Are we going to have 22 in 2026? Well, that's if Andretti joins, isn't it, Lemon? Which there's a lot of pushback on Andretti joining, but I think he's adamant. He's not going to give up. So hopefully, can Mick get points today? I don't know. I'm hoping that Danny Rick will move further up the grid. The key one for me today, guys, is Bottas. What is Bottas able to do? Up in P6. But I'll tell you what, let's end our poll, guys. So, 95 of you have voted in this poll. 50% of you think Max Verstappen is going to win. Then Lewis Hamilton with 29%, Sergio Perez 13%, and George Russell with 6%. So, interesting. Max is still very much the man to beat here today. The straight line speed of that Red Bull is ominous. All depends if Mercedes can get down into the first corner ahead of him and how close they're going to be able to follow through the twisty sections of this track. But here we go, guys. We've got tyre blankets coming off. Not every drive. Here we go. Oh, okay. That is interesting. I did not expect to see. We've got varying strategies here, guys. The Mercedes are both on medium tyres. Going for the fresh rubber to get them off the line. Is it going to be enough to get them off the line, though, ahead of the Red Bull on used soft tyres? Because Perez and Verstappen and Sainz and Leclerc don't have a brand new set of softs available to them. So, oh, interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, I didn't expect that. I thought we'd see everyone start on the same tyre. But no one's starting on the hard tyre. We have Magnussen and Stroll starting at the back on the mediums. Latifi is on a brand new set of softs. Albon is on the mediums. He also has a brand new set of softs available to him. And yeah, varying strategy. Ricciardo. So Ricciardo's got a brand new set of soft tyres that he's not using at the start of the race. So keep an eye on Ricciardo. When he puts on a set of softs, he will be on fresh rubber. That might, if there's a safety car later on in the race, that'll probably be beneficial for Ricciardo being on those set of softs. So, ooh, interesting, guys. If it rains, it will make it a more lively race, Mark. It will indeed. Have we got rain predicted for today? I don't think we have. Don't think we do. You think we have? Okay. I know there was 60% chance of rain yesterday, which was something. But let me just move that, guys. Let me just have a quick look at Twitter. It's always a good source of information. Some of it's rubbish, but lots of F1 journalists. Oh, mate, how good is that sound tune? The F1 theme with the mariachi band. Oh, a banger. 40% chance. Okay. Okay. I fully expect, Sim, I fully expect to see some mechanical failures here today. Always causes issues, the high altitude and the low air pressure. So, but yes, 2-stopper is the quickest. 1-stop is a viable option, but it's not the quickest. Yeah, potential for Mercs here, guys. So, Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton. So Verstappen started on the softs, Russell and Hamilton both on the mediums, Perez and Sainz on the softs, Bottas on the mediums. Maybe the Mercedes are just thinking, do you know what? We don't want to risk being on those softs. They're not going to last long enough. We're going to go with an alternate strategy here. So interesting. But we're on the formation lap, guys. Ooh. So, Timo, this is F1 Live. F1 Live. But yeah, guys, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Much appreciated. We are not long away from this race getting underway. Will there be any incidents? Will there be any lockups going into the first corner? That is going to be a big issue for the guys. But yes, I think Max might get down into turn one here ahead of the Mercedes on that soft tyre. Perez could be an issue here as well, but the Mercedes obviously hoping on that fresh rubber to go a lot longer than Max on a set of used softs. So, going to be interesting. Does F1 season end before or after the World Cup? I think it ends just before, or I think it ends the weekend that it starts. I think the weekend that it starts is the weekend the World Cup starts. So, yeah, it's good to see that it ends before an event like that. Brandon, I could tell from your username that was the case, mate. Press rate of tyres running just for the DRS window to open. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yes, it is. Right, so here we go, guys. Everyone gridding up. Verstappen backing up the pack as Stroll comes through the last of the stadium section. Nice to see that everyone's mixing up their strategies here. It's going to make it an interesting race. But, oh, here we go. I'm so excited for this, guys. So excited. Latifi isn't last, Leah, due to him not having a penalty. Magnussen has taken an engine penalty and Stroll has taken a 5-place grid penalty. So, yeah, here we go. Thanks, mate. Who do I think will win? I don't know. I still think Max is the man to beat here. But here we go. Lance Stroll is lining up on the grid. We are mere seconds away from the start of the Mexican Grand Prix, guys. And here we go. It is lights out. And away we go. A little bit of a delay there, but here we go. So Max has got a good start, it seems, but here comes the long run and the draft down into T1. Has George got the run on Max? It seems like Max is okay and is ahead down into T1. Leclerc has made a position up on Bottas. He's bogged down slightly. Alonso is ahead of him as well. Norris has had a very poor start and Hamilton has got around Russell through the chicane. It is Hamilton now chasing down Max Verstappen. Albon has dropped all the way down to the bottom of the grid. So has Latifi. Poor start from the Williams. Very good start from Stroll. Starting 20th, now up into 15th position. Danny Rick has dropped 2 positions as well. So not a great start from the McLarens. But yes, Verstappen has ultimately, on those used set of softs, got ahead cleanly, ahead of the Mercedes down into the first corner. And Perez has also got ahead of Russell as well. So as they go through the S's and down into the stadium section. So just watching it on TV now, they all tucked in behind each other. A very big train, but Perez got a much better start than Russell, it seems. And Russell had to give a little bit of room to Max, ran wide, and Hamilton just went round the outside. Ooh, nice move from Hamilton there, but they're going through the stadium section now for the first time, guys, and we go onto the main straight. So, can Hamilton stay with Verstappen on a set of used tyres here in the draft, or will he come under threat from Perez? But not a great start from Russell there, but this is what we expected to see. The top 4 cars fighting it out for the win today. Are there going to be any more moves into the first corner here at the start of the second lap. Let's have a look at the relative. Doesn't seem like it. Everyone seems to be holding station at the moment. But yes, the guys on the soft tyres definitely making their way a little bit further up the pack. But yes, everyone's holding station there. Any more overtakes down into turn 4? That is a lot of names in a very small space of track, guys, isn't it? And no overtakes as of yet. So everyone's kind of holding station. But woof. But yeah, Max got a decent start there. Obviously on the softer tyre, wanting him to get ahead of the Mercedes. But Hamilton is staying with Verstappen here, 1.2 seconds. But importantly, he is outside of the DRS zone at the moment. So I want to see the gaps from Verstappen on Hamilton as he goes down the main straight. So last week at Kota, the Mercedes was losing 2/10 per lap down the back straight. Let's see what the Mercedes loses this time around, or if anything at all. But Verstappen, at the moment, has a bit of extra grip through the slower corners. He lost 2/10 there, Hamilton, through the stadium section. Obviously, that's a different compound of tyre that we're seeing there. But, it seems like, yes, at the moment, so only a 10th, just about a 10th, Verstappen is gaining at this stage of the race on Hamilton down the main straight. The Red Bull is even in these conditions with the lower air pressure, quicker than the Mercedes in a straight line. But where the Mercedes comes into its own is in this section now, through turns 4, 5 and 6, and then all the way through the S's out of turn 11 is where he makes up the time. But yeah, everyone seems to be holding station at the moment. No overtakes as of yet. I expect when DRS opens this lap, we will see some overtakes start to happen. So laps, guys, are just down here. You will see 3 out of 71 laps we are currently on. And yeah, it's here we go. So has Hamilton's basically held station. He hasn't gained any time on Verstappen through those S's at the moment. The soft tyres keeping Verstappen ahead of Hamilton through those S's. Russell needs to make up a bit of time on Perez. He's 1.6 seconds behind. Sainz and Leclerc aren't too far back, but they're on the soft tyres as well. So how long are these used set of softs going to last for? That's the key. So at the moment, Verstappen is 2/10 quicker than Hamilton, a 23.3 from Perez. So Hamilton is quicker than Perez on a set of mediums, and Russell did a 23.6. So Russell's a little bit messy at the moment, but here we go. DRS open. Is anyone going to make an overtake? Bottas is on the back of Alonso here. Can he get the place back on Alonso into T1? No, we're very close. And no, he's just behind him. Just behind him at the moment. But let's have a look, guys, at after 4 laps. Well, we're on the 4th lap now. Let's have a look at the position. So Verstappen is first, Hamilton second, Perez third, with Russell fourth, losing 2 positions. We have the 2 Ferraris on the soft tyre in 5th and 6th. Alonso, Bottas, Ocon, Norris dropping down to 10th position. Tsunoda's doing okay in 11th position. Zhou is holding station in 12th. He's one to watch out for today in a very quick Alfa Romeo. Ricciardo is stuck behind him at the moment, though he's very close. Look at him, he's right on the back. 3 tenths behind Zhou. Could we see our first overtake here into the stadium section with the DRS open? Keep an eye on it. Vettel's up in 14th as well on a fresh set of softs. Not bad from Vettel because he hasn't been comfortable with that car all weekend. And then we have Gasly who's struggling this weekend. The 2 Haases and the Williams at the back of the pack. But Hamilton has managed to take a couple of attempts out of Verstappen there. A 23.5 from Verstappen compared to Hamilton's 23.4. A 23.2 for Perez. Russell with a 23.5. So how much do they take out of this tyre to stay with Verstappen? Russell really needs to get a move on now and help support Hamilton because Perez is closing up a bit. But as we know, they're on varying strategies. Bottas has a go at Alonso again, but he's not quite close enough. Does he get him down into turn 4 with the DRS open? He is very close. He's 2 tenths behind. And no, he doesn't. There's a little bit of a train there forming behind Alonso. But Hamilton has taken another couple of attempts out of Verstappen there. 1.2 seconds behind. Is Verstappen's soft tyres already falling off? We're only 4 laps in. They are a set of used tyres. Here we go. Verstappen hasn't made up any time on Hamilton through those S's with the DRS available. or you could definitely see in the dot there that Hamilton is just closing up a little bit behind Max. Here's going to be the key. Does he have the rear grip out of turn 16 down into turn 1? This is where you're going to see those tyres really come into effect. And yeah, he's been able to make it. That was a bit of a better lap. But 2 tenths quicker from Hamilton there. A purple sector. A bit better from Russell. A 23.2. But it seems to be Hamilton is the faster. Mercedes out on track at the moment. There'll be crashes on the wall of the 3rd sector. 3rd sector? Maybe. But Alfa Romeo saying Bottas is in a very good position. Stick to plan A. So they probably suspected that they might drop a few positions at the start, being on the medium tyres. But yeah, that's a pacey. That is a pacey Bottas that we have here today. Hamilton is now nearly within DRS. He's 1.2 seconds. He just lost a little bit of traction there out of turn 6. That you can already see the top 4 dropping the Ferraris. Those Ferraris lapping in the higher 23s and low 24s compared to the Red Bulls and the Mercedes in the low 23s. 340 people, yeah, welcome everyone. If you can hit a like button, it'd be much appreciated. I don't know how many likes we're on because I'm concentrating on the race, but if you can hit the subscribe button as well, it'd be really appreciated. We do these F1 watch-alongs every weekend that we can, so yeah, really appreciate it. But Alonso is really backing up the mid-pack there. We're starting to see a few gaps forming. Hamilton has done pretty much an identical time to Max there, as well as Perez. Seems like Russell's taking a little bit of time to get up to speed here. He's done a 23.5 this time around. He hasn't been able to match the front 3 times. But the fact Hamilton is setting the same time on a fresh set of mediums compared to, I know they use softs, but compared to Perez, who is in Hamilton's draft, and he's setting the same times as Verstappen on those softs, bodes well for a close race here today. So yeah, interesting. Hey Slimes, welcome buddy, good to see you back, and welcome back everyone who has been tuning into these watch-alongs. Much appreciated guys. But yeah, Magnussen has now dropped to the back of the pack. I wonder what happened there, didn't quite see it, maybe he ran a little bit wide. But yeah, everyone's still holding station. Norris is in 10th position on those medium tyres. Everyone just bedding into the race. I wonder if we're going to see any one stops here today. Wonder if anyone's going to try and do that, because teams do have a fresh set of hards available to them. I think everyone has a fresh set of hards. So Yuki's faster than Danny Rick and Vettel and Pierre Gasly. Let that sink in at the moment. Is he? Let's have a look at his times. A 25.1, 24.6. Doesn't seem like it, but then again, Yuki is in kind of the middle of that pack. So this time around, Verstappen with a 23.1, Hamilton with a 23.3. Just can't seem to get into that DRS zone at the moment. It does make you wonder, can Hamilton go faster in clean air? Because while we do not get as much dirty air in these cars now with the newer regulations, we do still get a little bit of dirty air that affects the car running close. But Danny Rick having a go at Bottas, at Zhou, just trying to poke his nose in, but that's made Vettel get right onto the back of him. So keep an eye on look at the gap now between Leclerc and Alonso. Bottas sitting pretty right behind Alonso. He's happy with that. Be interested to see if Bottas could clear Alonso. Could he get up to the back of Leclerc and Sainz? Who knows? But yeah, Hamilton 1.4 seconds or just under 1.5 seconds back from Verstappen. Seems like Perez is holding station as well. Russell, that was a much better lap from Russell last time out, a 23.2. I think that's his fastest lap of today. But yeah, Sainz and Leclerc just not doing the lap times required to stay with that front 4. Bit of a shame, really, because it'd be really interesting to see those front 6 cars fighting it out for a race win. I don't think we've seen that at all this season. So yeah, that would have been interesting. But 23.2 from Verstappen that time around, and Hamilton with a 23.5. So he's dropped back to 1.7 seconds now. Perez a 23.2. So those soft tyres still staying in there. Russell with a 23.4. Look at those Ferraris in the low 24s. They just cannot stay with them. But Bottas, is he close enough? No, he's not close enough to send it on Alonso. But Danny Rick here could get a run on Zhou. Look at Danny Rick. Looks like he's going to overtake Zhou into T1. And he's done it. Danny Rick has made a position up on Zhou. And he's now going to be on the back of chasing down Ocon. It looks like Tsunoda. This Tsunoda? No, Tsunoda. I was looking at the wrong orange dot, guys. It's Norris. Tsunoda is on the back of Norris, but Danny Rick has been able to get past Zhou. And I think Danny Rick's actually not got too bad pace here this week to make his way up the infield. Hamilton just needs to keep Perez at bay. He'll get his chance to overtake Max once those softs degrade. Exactly, Mo here. Exactly. I think at the moment, Hamilton might be doing a bit of tyre saving as well. Try and make those medium tyres go a lot longer than those softs. Maybe Max knows that in himself as well. But those softs are going to fall off a lot quicker than Hamilton. So, yeah, we're seeing a tyre saving phase of the race at the moment. A 23.1 from Hamilton. Perez has just done a 23.5. But it's more so important for Russell maybe to close up to Perez just a little bit more. But those Mercs definitely in tyre saving mode at the moment on those medium tyres. Anyone else further back? Oh, Danny Ricks. Yeah, I think he's pulled far enough away from Zhou. 8 tenths ahead of Zhou. Is he going to be able to stay ahead of him? It's a long straight down here. He's closing up the gap. I think Danny Rick's got enough. He has indeed. So, yeah, everyone kind of holding station at the moment, guys. Nick, you can't believe Ferrari are both on track still. Well, yeah, I'm just having a look at a bit of the TV coverage. I haven't really seen any of the TV coverage to see how the Ferraris are handling at the moment. But yeah, the front three or the front four just seem like they're coasting around, to be honest. Just staying far enough back so that they're not getting in the dirty air and affecting their tyres. Perez has fallen back just a little bit more now, 2 seconds behind Hamilton, where he was 1.5 seconds. He lost half a tenth that last lap nearly. And Russell is 2 seconds behind Perez as well. 10 laps in, no crash yet. Yeah, no crash yet. We might see it as the tyres start to wear off, but we'll see. We will see. But Perez, look, half a second slower than Hamilton that time around. Russell was 2 tenths quicker. Hamilton setting the same lap time as Verstappen on those mediums and probably tyre saving. So I think this could be a Max versus Hamilton race at the moment. That's the way it's shaping out. Russell really needs to pull through and force Perez to defend. Not so much at the moment. They're on different strategies. They're on very different strategies. So I think Russell is probably sitting. He knows he's faster than the Ferraris. He's staying within that 2 second range. That's probably far enough back not to feel the effects of the dirty air and not scrub more off of his medium tyres than he really needs to. But yeah, let's have a look at the bottom of the grid at the moment. So Magnussen, who's had issues all week here with his engine, is chasing down Latifi. Mick Schumacher in 18th position. Albon now making a little bit of headway on Gasly, only 2 seconds behind. But Alonso and Bottas starting to pull free of Ocon there. Bottas happy to just sit behind Alonso as long as his pace is good. Ocon trying to catch them up. Norris is slightly quicker than Tsunoda. And I imagine Tsunoda is really trying to trace down the McLaren there and get into the points. And then Danny Rick is not pulling away from Zhou as much as I thought he would. Still within that DRS zone of Zhou. So if Zhou could get onto the back of him and get him down into the main straight here. But once again, a 23.1 for Verstappen, a 23.3 for Hamilton and Perez and for Russell. So those four just bedding into the race. Russell on P5 strat. Who do I think might crash? I don't know. I don't think anyone. I can't really say anyone at the moment will crash. Everyone seems to be pretty good on track at the moment. No one really seems to be like properly struggling. Maybe Magnussen. I think they might retire Magnussen's car. He's really starting to drop back of Latifi. He had issues before the race even started. I reckon if anyone's going to go pop, it's going to be Magnussen. But they might bring him in to retire the car before that even has a chance to happen. About time for soft tyre pit stops. Yes, it is, isn't it? Let me just have a look at when they said that was going to be the case. Pirelli Motorsport. So they originally said, Yeah, 16. Well, no, they said 16 to 22 laps was the zone for the soft tyres, and 28 to 35 laps for the medium. So I wonder if the Mercedes might be going to a one-stop strategy here, guys, starting on the medium tyres. Maybe they are. They have got a fresh set of hards. Maybe that's how they think they're going to beat Verstappen, because they don't have a fresh set of softs available to them to go quick enough to maybe catch them up on those hard tyres. Maybe they've seen the tyre differential in speed, and the hards aren't that much slower than the mediums. Who knows? But Hamilton with the fastest lap. Oh, Stroll complaining about that he's sliding everywhere, no grip. Does anything change with you, Stroll? I feel like you happen to say that every single race. Hamilton has pulled out a little bit of an extra gap now, a further second on Perez. I think Perez might have had a lock-up somewhere. Last lap, he was a second slower, or 9/10 slower. Russell casually going along in the 23.4s. So is Perez struggling on those soft tyres now? We are approaching that pit window, as you rightly pointed out, some of you in the chat. Maybe Russell is hoping that he gets out of the way rather than overtake him. But fully expect to see Russell close up that gap pretty soon. Another 3/10 there Perez has lost on this lap alone. Hamilton with another 23.0, another fastest lap. Perez a 23.2 and Russell with a 23.2 as well. Or maybe it's just Hamilton is that much quicker than Perez at the moment. It does seem like it. What is preferred? Well, apparently one stop and a two stop are both preferred today, it seems. I thought it was going to be a two-stop race, but it seems like that the guys who are on the medium tyres might be going to a one-stop. I think that's what Bottas is going for, which is why Bottas is happy just to sit in Alonso's slipstream at the moment and tow him along. If anyone will make a one-stop work, it's Russell. Well, if anyone can... Oh, wow. Gasly, a very bold move on Stroll there. Very good move. But it's Albon. Oh, apparently he said he took him off the road. I didn't quite see it fully. But Albon's right on the back of Stroll now. Stroll really struggling. I think Albon's going to get Stroll here. Keep an eye on it. He's going to have DRS, but so is Stroll. But Albon may have the double toe. Is he going to be able to get him into T4? No, he's not. Oh, yeah, that was a... Pierre definitely full Stroll wide there. Big lock up into T4 and full Stroll wide. So Gasly will be forced to give that position back or he'll get a penalty. But Albon's all over the back of him. But another 23 dead from Hamilton. Verstappen turned it on a little bit there. But we're already 15 laps now into this race. Where has that time gone? So Red Bull for Max, or the engineer for Max, has just come on and said he needs to break this toe. So he's just... Verstappen is going to try and get a move on. So you can see 1.5 seconds behind Hamilton is at the moment. That seems to be close enough to give him a tow and stay with him. But we'll see. We'll see. This is panning out really well. So there's a bit of a few gaps forming now. Albon is closest to Stroll. Is Albon going to be able to get Stroll down into T1? He's definitely closing. We know that Williams is quick in a straight line. I think Albon's going to get Stroll around the outside here. They're side by side. And no, he doesn't. He just has to back out. Albon just has to back out. He's got another opportunity down into T4. I think Stroll is... Oh, he's going to have to do some defending here. He's side by side. He's right up behind him. He's getting up to a 10th behind him. So right on the back of his rear wing. But he just can't get past that Aston Martin yet. So Verstappen comes around for another lap. 1.7 seconds difference between them. 22.9 from Max. Definitely getting a move on as he was told by his engineers. But yeah, I think Perez is going to be the first to stop. He had 22.9 that time. Whoa. Oh, sorry, a 22.9 that time around. I've read that as a 23.9. That's a very quick lap of 22.9. But yeah, he might be in issues with Russell. Because you think those soft tyres, they only really can do like 1 or 2 fast laps, and then they lose that grip quite quickly. The life of that tyre to go super quick on them is not long. Not long at all. Just watching Albon on Stroll. Yeah, so he got up right behind him again, but didn't make a move. But, yeah, everyone kind of holding station now. I don't think too much is going to happen unless Albon overtakes Stroll again here. Nope. But I don't think anything too much is going to happen until we get a first round of pit stops. And we're about to be in the pit window for those soft tyres, guys. Hope this year Hamilton gets his first win. Yeah, it's a very strong possibility. I would say he's in pole position at the moment for this win on the medium tyres. He looks very comfortable. He's 2 seconds behind Verstappen now. So Verstappen has definitely got to move on those tyres compared to Hamilton. Hamilton is just casually going on, managing those tyres. Same as Russell as well. 23-1 that time around. But we're in the pit window for the soft tyres now, guys. Let's see. I don't know what the gap is. The problem is now, guys, though, I'm not sure they've pulled out enough of a gap to bring them out in clean air. It's very congested in that midfield at the moment. If it was tighter packed, then they'd probably have a pit window. But at the moment, they really need to hold out and wait for those mid-runners to pit. This is the problem. Max struggling a lot with the bouncing, he's reporting. Because the majority of that midfield is on the medium tyres, they're going to go longer than the soft tyre runners who are at the front. So the soft tyre runners have got the possibility to come out right where Alonso and Bottas is. And that's not ideal for them. Of course, they're going to get held up in traffic. Whereas Hamilton and Russell are on kind of the same strategy as the medium runners, and they're going to go longer. So that's a real issue, and that's probably why Max is trying to go as fast as he can, break the toe from Hamilton, but also build up enough of a gap to get out in front of that midfield. So because they're 27 seconds, I think maybe he's close enough. Maybe he's far enough ahead now. He might be far enough ahead. I don't know what the pit loss time is here. But if anyone knows that, does anyone know the pit loss time, guys? I think Max will be the first to pit and try and do an undercut. Well, obviously that's their plan. They're going to have to pit before the Mercedes anyway. Yeah, there's a gap. I think there is a gap just now in the last couple of laps ahead of Alonso. All of a sudden, they've just got to move on. Look how far ahead they were. They definitely weren't that far ahead last lap or last couple of laps. Trying to pass the DRS train with Alonso at the front is a near impossible task. No one want to pit before he does. No. But they're going to have to. There's 28 seconds. I think they've got a big enough gap now. The front four have made a bit of a move on in the last couple of laps, or Alonso has dropped back those last couple of laps. It looks a lot closer. So Stroll is the first to pit. He was moaning his head off about his tyres slipping. So he is in the pits. Is he going to go to a hard tyre? It's a very long way to go on the hards. This has got to be a two-stop strategy. Probably another set of mediums for him, or it's going to be the hards and then the softs at the end. So keep an eye out on Stroll and see what he does. So Stroll is out on a set of soft tyres. So a definite two-stop strategy coming out here. Definite two-stop. Not 4 to 8 seconds, true. That can't be the pit loss time. As long as Bottas wants to finish this race, he would absolutely not push Alonso. No, and apparently what I heard on the radio is they said plan A. I think they're going for a one-stop. That makes sense. Just follow Alonso. A quick car anyway. And, yeah, just stay on his toe ahead of Ocon. He's 2.5 seconds quicker or ahead of Ocon at the moment. Staying out of his DRS, so he's not going to be our worry. And I think that's what we're seeing at the moment. That's why the race has kind of fizzled out a little bit at the moment. There's not really any on-track action because the guys that are out on track are just trying to make their tyres last, tyre saving. The second stint is going to be interesting because we're going to have guys on 2 stops and compared to 1 stops. Now my posters are they're programs actually. They're the official programs from the Monaco Grand Prix, the historic one, and the official race. My mother-in-law went to Monaco for her birthday a couple of months back and brought them back for me, which is a nice little gift. Gasly awarded a 5-second time penalty. Doesn't surprise me, guys, because he was locking, under braking, and forced Stroll wide, so he wasn't in control of his car. But yeah. So Latifi is on the back of Mick Schumacher. Can Latifi make an on-track overtake, guys? Can he do it? He's already done one on Magnussen. This could promote a safety car. Ferrari saying consider plan C, working their way through the alphabet again, guys. How many strategy plans have they got today? But yeah, so George Russell at the moment, guys, if anyone is wondering, why is George just sitting behind Perez? Why is he not pushing him? Well, that's because he's not wanting to unnecessarily lose time to Verstappen and Hamilton up front. He has got the pace, but he's just looking after his tyres. Perez will probably be the first of those 4 to pit, I reckon. I think Verstappen's tyres are probably in better condition than Perez, as the timing sheets suggest. And Hamilton, likewise, is happy just to sit along. 2 seconds behind. He's lapping pretty consistently to Verstappen as well, and just making those mediums last a lot longer. Evening, Danny. Welcome, buddy. How many laps can be done on the medium tyres? Well, Pirelli said that the medium tyre is around 28 to 35 laps compared to 16 to 22 on the soft. But that's their recommendations. We always know that sometimes, due to track evolution and track conditions, that it can change. But Verstappen with a 23.6 this time around, and Hamilton with a 24.98. Ooh, 20 laps into this race now. So they're doing the soft tyres. The soft tyres are going 20 laps, it seems, but they're starting to lose quite a bit of time. But the top 4 are easily the fastest men on track, because the Ferraris are just doing low 24s. So Latifi on the back of Mick Schumacher, Vettel on the back of Zhou, Ricciardo is on the back of Tsunoda. Yeah, not really seeing too much change at the moment, guys, out on track. It's all going to happen when the first pit stops start to be made. Don't think so. Perez will be last to get in front of the Mercs if needed. No, I don't think so, because they're very much in this race, Verstappen and Perez. I don't think they're going to use Perez to block the Mercs or anything like that. They're going to want to go for the win, and I don't think they're going to sacrifice Perez in front of his home crowd. They've got both championships wrapped up, so. Latifi looking for blood. He is. He's going alongside Mick Schumacher down into T1, and I think Latifi has got ahead of Mick. They're definitely side by side. They're side by side for the chicane, guys. Latifi and Mick Schumacher. Oh, has Mick been able to hold on to it? He has. Mick has been able to hold on to the position from Latifi. Does Latifi have another go at Mick in the second DRS zone into T4? No. No. So, Latifi and Mick Schumacher going at it for 17th position, guys. Who knew that would be where the action is going to be at this stage of the race? Woo. What about the hard tyres now? How many laps will they do? Pirelli suggested that the hard tyre will do half of the race, basically. Around 35 to 40 laps you can go on the hard tyre. So I think that's what they want to do. But yeah, here we go. So Verstappen, 21 laps. Are they going to pit at all? Are the Red Bulls going to pit? Or are they just going to hope on track position and just hope that, do you know what, we'll try and make these go as long as we can, and then go on to a one-stop. But yeah, so no one else really coming into the pitch yet. So, Latifi did. Oh no, so that's Magnussen. So Latifi is actually now into the grips of Magnussen. Oh, Latifi. So close to overtaking Mick, and now he is the filling in a Haas sandwich, guys. Latifi plus Schumacher equals safety car. Maybe. Well, Magnussen. So Max, you can see the blistering on the soft tyres at the moment of Max's car. Max complaining about his tyres. But Hamilton just happily sitting in that 2-second range between Verstappen. So, Vettel is on the back of Zhou. Is Zhou going to be... I think Zhou's going to be under threat here from an overtake down the main straight. In DRS, Vettel is. Go on, Vettel. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. But we know that Alpha is quick in a straight line today. 4 temps. 3 temps. Still 4 temps. He's side by side, Zhou. Oh no, he's just behind him. That Alfa Romeo really does have great straight line speed here this weekend. We've seen that in the hands of Bottas. Is Vettel? Vettel is close enough maybe to have an overtake into turn 4. I don't think so. Not with the speed difference down a straight line that Alfa Romeo has on Vettel. But Vettel definitely being held up now by Zhou, feeling much more comfortable on those soft tyres. But no one has come into pit other than Stroll yet. Everyone on the soft tyres. Left front not wanting to turn, Verstappen reporting. Amber Perez is the first to pit of the soft tyres. We guessed it, guys. Perez would be the first to pit. What tyre is he going to come out on? I fully expect him to be on a medium tyre. Fully expect him to be on the mediums. They've got 2 fresh set of mediums to use, but he's coming out behind the Ferraris. Is he coming out ahead of Alonso? He's definitely coming out ahead of Alonso, isn't he? Yep, there we go. And when it updates itself, he's on a fresh set of mediums. So definitely doing a 2-stop strategy. I didn't think they'd go on to the hards. But does that mean Verstappen is now going to pit? Is Verstappen going to pit this time around? He might do. Hamilton is 1.7 seconds behind, coasting. And it'd be interesting to see what Hamilton can do in free air. Magnussen is right on the back of Latifi here. Magnussen will definitely get Latifi down the main straight. So keep an eye on. So Latifi is in the pits. Latifi in the pits. So we're starting to see the soft runners come in and pit. Is Verstappen coming in this time around? He must be. He must be. He's not. Max is going on. Max is going on. So, interesting. Keep an eye out on George Russell's times now. He actually does have some clean air. 5.5 seconds pretty much, or just over 5.5 seconds between him and Hamilton. It'd be interesting to see what they can actually do in those times. But yeah, Perez has got to, well, maybe he won't have to overtake the Ferraris actually. They'll pit at some point because they're on a set of softs. But Verstappen approaching Stroll as well with traffic. Ooh, interesting. Charles is really losing out in the Ferrari. Yeah, he hasn't had a handle in that Ferrari all weekend. They've been very far off the pace. So why the Ferrari specifically struggling with this circuit? Unusual to be around a second off the pace. So apparently, I think it's, I was talking to someone earlier, they've possibly turned the engine down. They're having issues with their turbo. And I think where Ferrari is normally good at the high downforce tracks, I think because of the low air pressure and the air density, they're just struggling. Hamilton saying his tyres are okay. So that's exactly what they wanted to hear. Is Verstappen going to come in and pit? But yeah, I think with the low air density and the low air pressure, Verstappen's in the pits. I think they're just where they normally get that advantage with a high downforce setup or a high downforce circuit. They're not getting that here. Which is why the Mercedes is much better, because they haven't got a draggier car. There's not enough air to make them draggy, which is why they're a lot closer to the Mercedes. But Verstappen forced them to pit. He said, my left front is dead. So Max now out on a fresh set of softs. Is Sainz going to be able to overtake here? So Perez has just done a fastest lap of the race, a 21.9. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you for the sub, buddy. Sainz right onto the back of Verstappen, and Perez is on the back of Leclerc. Fully expect to see Perez on that fresh rubber overtake Leclerc here into T4. But interesting to see now what Hamilton and Russell will be able to do in that clean air. So Hamilton did a 23.6 last time around. His tyres are good. Verstappen, keep an eye out on his lap times. He'll probably be in the low 21s. If they're doing a 2-stop, they're going to rag those medium tyres that they've got. But Perez wasn't able to overtake Leclerc there. He's been held up by Leclerc. I thought he'd be able to overtake him down into T4. Clearly not. Ooh. Ooh. Lap 25, it's under the camp. Yeah, 27. So just under here, guys, we have the lap counter. 27 out of 71 laps completed. So at the moment, Hamilton is in first position with Russell in second. Verstappen has just made his pit stop. Verstappen, hang on. Mercedes just said target +6 to Hamilton. So yeah, 6 laps longer than what they think they could have done. But look at Perez there. He did the fastest lap last time around, a 21.9, and now he was stuck behind Leclerc. He's passed him now into T1, but a 24.5 just shows the time difference. 2.5 seconds slower he was, just being stuck behind Leclerc. Really hampered him there. But Hamilton and Russell, Russell's not really closing the gap to Hamilton, 5.5 seconds behind. So at the moment, Hamilton is in pole position out of the Mercedes and will probably take priority if there was a strategy call to be made. But yeah, let's see how long they can take those tyres for. Around lap 35, probably to expect them to pit. You'll become a member if Hamilton wins. Max is in clean air. Yes, Max is in clean air at the moment. So Latifi has gone onto the hard tyre. That is very early for him to go onto the hard tyre and see out a one stop. Oh, is that a masterclass in strategy call there from Williams? Will Hamilton go with the hards, John? Yes, I think he will. I think Russell and Hamilton are both on a one-stop strategy. Unless something happens with the... safety car, they're definitely on a one-stop in regards to hard tyre. If the safety car comes out, maybe they go to a medium and mix it up. I don't know. But Verstappen there only did in clean air a 22.494. So basically a 22.5. That's not as quick as what Perez was able to do in clean air. But maybe Verstappen trying to take these tyres a little bit longer because they only have... They have a second set of fresh mediums to use. They don't have any fresh set of softs. They would be used tyres. But a 23.3 from Hamilton last time around. Russell a 23.2. So they're happy doing those lap times. That's what they're happy to do at the moment in clean air. They were doing that when they was behind Verstappen as well. But let's have a look further down the grid. So Sainz and Leclerc, fully expect to see them come into the pit very soon. 27 laps on a set of softs is a long time. Same with Vettel and same with Tsunoda. Oh, Max complaining about his shifts. His shifts are effing up again. He just came on the radio. But a 23.0 from Russell and a 23.2 from Hamilton. Let's see what Verstappen is able to do here. Lap time in clean air with dodgy shifts by the sounds of it. A 22.5 again. Hamilton on the radio, just listen to it. Hamilton saying he's having cuts of energy still. So apparently that's what he was having in qualifying yesterday, was cuts of energy to the battery. That's not good for him. But Russell still 5 seconds behind Hamilton. 23.2's last time around. Leclerc is in the pits and now coming out on the set of medium tyres, so definitely doing the two-stop strategy here. Vettel still yet to pit as well, and same, I expect Sainz to come in this lap. He's now holding up Perez. Who else have we got at the moment? Yeah, that's it. Stroll was an early pitter. Be interested to see when these medium tyres come in, or these medium runners come in and pit. And Hamilton has pitted. Hamilton is in on lap 28, guys. Oh, that's a bit earlier than I thought. Are they going to the hard tyre and running to the end? So that's about 41 laps on the hard tyre. Or are they going to an actual two-stop and doing a medium run? He's out. What tyre is he on? He's on the hard tyre. So the Mercedes are going for a one-stop, guys, as predicted. Interesting. That is a bit sooner than I thought it was going to be. So Hamilton, the Mercedes are hoping to outdo the Red Bull on strategy here. Maybe they didn't quite think they'd be able to do them on outright pace purely because of the straight line speed that the Red Bull has. But this is interesting. Now let's see how quick Hamilton can go on those tyres. But he does have to make them last to the end of the race. So if he's around the 24 mark, I don't think that's too bad. Or in the 23s. Don't think that's too bad, really, on the set of hard tyres. But I do expect him to be overtaken by Perez here, most probably, with Perez going to go onto a two-stop strategy. on the medium tyre. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. Whew. Whew. 71 likes and 470 people. Oh yeah, guys, if you can hit that like button, get us to over 100 likes, it really helps push the stream and grow the channel. So it'd be much appreciated if you can. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button as well, because we do these watch-alongs pretty much every single weekend. I'll be making sure that I do them for the next 2 races as well that we have of the season. And yeah, I'll also be on the Missed Apex podcast after this to discuss this very race. So be sure to like those. But Perez, absolute attack mode at the moment, 21-7. So Russell saying his tyres are feeling good, but we'll see. They're obviously Russell planning to go a little bit longer, maybe get a bit closer to Hamilton and Perez. I think 2-stop because it's too early to pits. Don't think so. Oh, Carlos Sainz had a bit of a slow front right tyre go on. But Hamilton now behind Latifi. Latifi will be getting the wave flag, the blue flags waved. Perez in attack mode on him. So really, we're not going to see a relative time here of Hamilton on those hard tyres because they're being held up by Latifi. But we can see Bottas still stuck behind Alonso. I say stuck, just casually strolling behind. But Sainz and Leclerc now to fill in the McLaren sandwich. But they'll overtake them really quickly because they're on a brand new set of mediums. But yeah, I am surprised Hamilton was the first to come in and pit there on the hard tyres. Clearly a strategy call. But Perez just being held up by Latifi through the last corner there out of the stadium section. That will help Hamilton. So a 22, wow, a 22.495 from Hamilton on the hard tyres. I did not expect that, guys. I really didn't expect that. I thought it'd be in the 23s. So the hard tyre isn't too slow. Isn't too slow. Verstappen's doing 23, did a 22.3 on the mediums compared to Hamilton who did a 22.5. Whoa, I thought the time difference would be a bit different on the hard tyre. That is interesting, guys. Norris now in the pits. The first of the midfield runners in the pits on the medium tyres. Try and make use of that fresh rubber. Russell trying to say, let's go to 2-stop. Let's put the soft on at the end. And Mercedes are saying, well, we need to go very long to make that work. Ferrari P9 and P10, are you kidding me? No, they had to pit because they was on a soft tyre. They was losing a lot of time to the top 4. This was always going to happen. When the guys ahead of it, they're on an alternate strategy. Once the guys ahead of them pit, they'll move back up to where they were, 5th and 6th. And they're doing 23.4s, 22.6 for Leclerc last time around on a set of mediums. So yeah, I mean, Hamilton in comparison, a 22.0 from Hamilton on his hard tyres. Whoa, 1/10 quicker than Verstappen, who has only really just got onto the back of Mick Schumacher. So Hamilton actually, whoa. I think this is very quick, unless Hamilton is burning his tyres at the start. But I don't think so. I think Hamilton is very smart in knowing that he's got to take these to the end. He's got to take these to the end. Unless he's planning on going very long on these hard tyres and then switching to a set of softs at the end. There's always that possibility. But that is mad on the hard tyres. Sky have just mentioned it as well. But yeah, so Alpine have just relayed that information to Alonso saying the hard tyre seems very good. The hard tyre seems very good today. And Alonso just said, yeah, car feels good today. Will be good on any tyre. So Perez will probably overtake Hamilton because he's taking on he's doing 21s at the moment, so he'll probably catch up to the back of Hamilton and probably overtake him, but he's on an alternate strategy on a 2-stop. But that is mad that Hamilton on the hard tyre is matching Max Verstappen. Let's see what he does this time around. A 22.4. He's matching Max Verstappen's times on a hard compound tyre. Whoa. I did not expect this, guys. I know I keep saying it. Did not expect it. Can we talk about Russell not pitting yet? Yes, so Veronica, he has come onto the radio and said that he, let's put the soft tyre on at the end. So there's a possibility that Russell could be extending his stint here and going onto a 2-stop strategy. They do have another fresh set of mediums to use. But the thing is that the hard tyre seems to be a quick enough race tyre here. Pretty much on similar pace to the mediums. So how much quicker is that soft tyre going to be used at the end of the race? Not so, I don't know. I don't know, but tyre deg doesn't look really too bad. It's only on the soft compound tyre that it was really rubbing off. But Vettel's going 33 laps on the softs. Vettel, you madman. Go on, Vettel, baby. Ocon now into the pits and out on the hard tyre. So we're seeing the mid-runners pit now. Russell's in the pits. Russell, 33 laps. So does Russell go to a fresh set of mediums and do the 2-stop as he suggested? Or is he going to go to a set of hard tyres? We're about to find out as he comes out of the pit lane. Hamilton with another 22.4. Perez now a 22.2. Has he taken too much tyre life out of his medium tyres? Perez pushing at the start. Russell comes out onto the hard tyre. So they are going 1 stop as well, sticking to the hard tyre, seeing that Hamilton has good pace on those hard tyres, but to me, that has pretty much conceded the win to Hamilton if it turns out that way, that this strategy works out. Oh, guys, I'm getting a little bit out of breath. Let me take a little bit of glass of water, drink of water. Shocking that Mick is keeping up with Verstappen. So Verstappen is technically leading still, yep, but he is on a 2-stop strategy. There's no way they're going to be able to take those mediums to the end of the race because they'll just lose tyre life. So we're going to see the Red Bulls come in and pit and try and overtake the Mercedes out on track on probably a set of softs. I feel like the softs is the only way they're going to be able to overtake them. The pace difference in the medium tyre is just not quick enough. Compared to the hard tyre. The only way to do this is out on track with a different strategy. But Hamilton just slightly getting held up by Mick Schumacher there through the stadium section. Mick should be getting blue flags and allow Hamilton pass. Should have DRS open. So Red Bull just saying that the soft stint tyre life was not an issue. So just the graining. So they'll probably go back onto the softs, I reckon, at some point. Will Vettel pit? Well, I don't know. The way he's going at the moment, he's doing a Magnussen from last week. He's learning from Magnussen and taking those tyres as long as he can. So 35 laps now from Danny Rick and Zhou. They're reaching the back end now of that pit stop window that Pirelli suggested. Same as Alonso and Bottas. Seems like the tyre degradation is nowhere near as bad as what they thought it was going to be. So Hamilton with Perez on his rear at the moment. 1.3 seconds. Just keeping him out of DRS. But Hamilton, of course, wants to take these tyres to the end of the race. Same as Russell. Another 22.0 from Max Verstappen. Hamilton does a 22.486. So Hamilton lapping consistently, just managing those tyres. Perez, of course, trying to overtake Hamilton and get track position. And I don't think Hamilton will fight it whatsoever because he will want to lose as little time as possible from what, to be honest, is an eventuality. The Haas FP2 had a top speed of 3.51 and Red Bull had recorded a 3.49. Wow. But Max now on the back of Magnussen. A blue flag way for him. Maybe a little bit of time lost there for Max. Who knows? But just listen to Sky F1. Yeah, so Max being given the hurry up, really, by Red Bull, because Mercedes, by the sounds of it, are in pole position for this race win with that hard tyre strategy. because the tyre deg is just not an issue here. So Perez is now in DRS range. Oh, did he get it in a DRS detection zone? I think Perez was under a second as he went through the DRS detection zone. He is a second behind Hamilton now, so fully expect him to get up close behind Hamilton. Might not have enough to get past him. We do know how quick that Red Bull is in a straight line. So, hang on. So Danny Rick being told -5 to 10 in Plan C. So that's -5 laps to 10 laps than they expected on Plan C because of the tyre wear, so that they can go on the soft tyre. That's why Vettel's still out on the soft tyre, guys, because it's just lasting so long here. So, yeah, fully expect to see Max probably come in on the soft tyre, try and breach a gap to Hamilton on that hard. Perez wasn't able to overtake him there down into the main straight. Hamilton will not want to fight it, as we keep saying. Verstappen now on the back of Stroll, who is being lapped. And he lets him pass quite easily. But Lando Norris now on the back of Albon here. On a fresh set of hards. Should easily be able to overtake him. Ocon also on Gasly as well. And Ocon gets ahead of Gasly into T1, and so does Norris. Bottas has also just been overtaken by Sainz. But yeah, these guys are... Hang on. How am I on the radio? So Hamilton said, oh, this tyre's not as good as the medium, but Bono said, well, we did see some drop-off at the end of life. So, I mean, you can see the midfield teams who are still on the medium tyre doing mid-24s, where they were in the 23s when it came around last time, or at the start of the race. Of course, fuel is burning off in the car, guys, which means that they get lighter and they're less harder on the tyres because less load is being put on them throughout the corners. But yeah, apparently Martin Brundle saying it is now advantage Red Bull because Max is just able to push a little bit more harder on those medium tyres. But Vettel now in the pits. 37 laps on the soft tyre. Wow. Wow, that is a mega stint. That is a mega stint. And Albon in the pits as well on the mediums. Danny Rick is on 37 lap mediums, yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Gasly's also on 38 laps. So is Zhou, Ricardo, Bottas, Alonso. They're still out there. Zhou, P10. Yeah, it's good news for Danny Rick. So they're going long and probably going to go to a set of softs. I think they're probably going to take this medium tyre, another maybe 5 laps, 10 laps, and yeah, go onto the soft tyre. So let's have a look at time. So Perez is not able to get past Hamilton at the moment. Still stuck behind him. Lapping 3 tenths quicker at the moment. Verstappen a 22.382. Hamilton here with on the hard tyre 22.9. So are we going to see Max Verstappen take these medium tyres to the end of the race because of the tyre degradation? Are we going to see him do a mega stint on these tyres and take them 38? So we got so it's 31 laps, 35 laps on the medium tyres. Are we going to see that? No, it would be more than 35 laps, wouldn't it? It'd be 45 laps on the medium tyres. That is a mega stint, guys. Not sure if they'll be able to do it. I think they're going to have to pit and go onto the soft tyre. It's more so if I still think they're going to have to overtake on track. Verstappen Verstappen clearly at the moment. Hang on. Yeah, so Martin Brundle now saying... Yeah, so Martin Brundle now saying, are Red Bull going to be able to take these medium tyres to the end of the race in a competitive way? Mercedes said that they saw some drop-off on the medium tyre at the end. So Max is taking out time on Hamilton on those hard tyres, but is he pushing too hard? Is he going too quick? Is he trying to build up a gap to go to the 2-stop on the softs and maybe try and overtake Hamilton on track? Seems to be that it's quite difficult to overtake that Mercedes. Not as easy as people may have thought it was. Perez just can't seem to get in that DRS zone of Hamilton. And yeah, I think it's going to be a close finish, guys. You want a crash too? Well, it's a little bit up in the air at the moment. Not Mexico's never been great for on-track overtaking. That's why it was one of the tracks that I said when asked what would I drop from the calendar next year. I said Mexico. I think the stadium section properly disrupts the flow of the racetrack. If we still had the old corner where it flowed from T12 round to T16, which is kind of like its own parabolica, then we'd see more overtaking because people would have a better run through that corner down the main straight, similar to how Monza is. But yeah, this is more about strategy. This is what has made things interesting. If they were on the same tyre, on the same strategy, I think it would have been an interesting race, but maybe Mercedes thought, yeah, we think they're going to start on the soft tyre and we need to outdo them on strategy. We still don't think we have the pace to overtake them on track. Verstappen gapping a lot to try and make the softs work at the end. I think that's what he's doing, Kyle. I think he's really trying to make that gap. I think he's going too quick to make those tyres last until the end of the race. That's 45 laps on those set of mediums. I know we saw guys do 38s, but and Ricciardo's 41 laps into a stint on these medium tyres. Wow. I mean, it's doable, but Ricciardo's doing higher 24s, mid 24s. That's obviously not going to be good enough then for what? To beat the Mercedes out on track. But Verstappen doing mid 22s. Perez is pushing Hams, who will destroy his tyres. Maybe. I mean, Hamilton just did a 22-1 there. So that's a bit better. I think Hamilton's still got plenty of tyre life in his tyres. He's definitely taken these to the end. We could see Hamilton catch up with Verstappen at the end with his medium tyres falling off. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Traffic come into play. Verstappen's coming up to the back of these guys who are fighting in the midfield. So what track would I add to the calendar next year? I'd like to see something like Hockenheim added back. Or Malaysia. Malaysia would be brilliant. So Hamilton and Russell both saying they're not liking the tyre at the moment, but Bono came back to Hamilton and said they saw drop off on the medium tyre towards the end. Don't think they'll be able to get it to the end. So we will see. But Ricciardo and Zhou both doing 42 laps on these mediums. They are now 7 laps longer than Pirelli suggested at the start. Verstappen with another 22.4. Verstappen is basically lapping, like, he's got it in cruise control, surely, because he's done that. I swear he did a 22.4 last time around as well. Hamilton a 22.5, same as Perez. Perez now dropped back to 2 seconds behind Hamilton. So are we starting to see that soft tyre already? 20 in the clear. I mean, the thing is with Verstappen, he's in clean air, so he doesn't have the dirty air coming from Hamilton's car. Perez will suffer a little bit there in regards to his tyre life on that. You think he's going to pit around lap 50? I think they might pit. Yeah, maybe lap 50, lap 48. Too many cars on track at the moment. Everyone's on the alternate strategies. So if you look at it, Sainz and Leclerc are in their own race. We're not concentrating on the Ferraris today. Sorry to Fosi out there. But Ocon is on a set of hards. Bottas is now on a set of new hards as well. Norris is on 11 lap hards. Be interested to see what the pace difference is with Bottas on a new set of hards compared to Norris, who's on a 11 lap hards. Buckfirst, thank you for the sub, buddy. And anyone else who has subbed, much appreciated. Hang on. Okay. Nothing really of note. So Hamilton there, another 22.5. Verstappen 2 tenths quicker on a 22.2. Perez a 22.1. So Perez now making some time back up on Hamilton. Isaac, thank you for the sub, buddy. Welcome, everyone. So Perez, Verstappen coming up to the big train here now, the midfield. They do have to get out of the way, but ultimately they are in their own race as well. Sonoda not getting out of the way of Verstappen as they go through the S's. He can't let him through there. But a 10-second gap at the moment between Hamilton and Verstappen. Where's Vettel? So Vettel's pitted. Sorry, in all this hoo-ha, I've seen Vettel has pitted onto medium tyres as well. Danny Rick is in the pits. 43 laps he has taken those tyres. Will Zhou pit as well? I expect Zhou probably to pit. No, Zhou is going on. Oh my God, 44 laps on those medium tyres. But look how close that is. Bottas in the double slipstream there. Could we see a double overtake from Valtteri Bottas? They're all tight, going side by side into the first corner. And Bottas has Zhou has just lost 2 places there down the main straight to Ocon and Bottas. Bottas not able to overtake Ocon as well. But Danny Rick comes out onto the soft tyres going to the end of the race. We are going to see a charging Danny Rick now. What can he do on a set of soft tyres? But Verstappen, yep, approaching the back of Norris. Mercedes showing good pace. Yeah, I think that we're still... Verstappen's either going to do... He's either going to take these to the end, but I think he's going too quick to take these to the end. I know the tyre deg is very good here, and we've just seen Ricciardo take it to 40-plus laps. I think the drop-off in time is going to be significant enough that Hamilton will be able to close the gap and possibly overtake Verstappen towards the end if they stick to a one-stop. I really don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know. Hamilton's clearly managing his tyres. I think Hamilton can go quicker. He's managing keeping Perez behind. Perez is sticking around that 1.5 seconds at the moment. Hamilton on the back of Ricciardo. Ricciardo should be quicker. But Jaco, thank you for the sub, buddy. But traffic will play a big role. Yeah, I think so. So Zhou, 44 laps. I know he's 45, but that's because he's technically crossed the line. But 44 laps completed on a set of medium tyres. Fair play, Zhou. Fair play. But how many positions is Zhou going to lose? Is he going to come out behind Gasly? He is. Zhou is going to come out behind Gasly, but he's going to be on a set of fresh, soft tyres. So, yeah, we'll see if Zhou in that Alfa Romeo can make it through the pack. But Bottas sitting just behind the 2 Alpines at the moment, for half a second behind Ocon. Bottas could get Ocon here. I think Ocon is at is under threat from Bottas. And they've got a fast Max Verstappen approaching them. But we'll see. My bet is Verstappen is taking it to the end. Yeah, I've got a feeling he will as well. I've got a feeling he will. But we'll see. We'll see. It's mad how this has changed to a one-stop race. I really thought this was going to be a definite two-stop. But it's changed, clearly. It's changed. But here goes Bottas. Is Bottas going to be able to overtake Ocon here? Don't think he's quite close enough. No, he's not. He's not close enough here. But we've now had half of the field lapped, guys. 11 cars have been lapped. And Verstappen is approaching Bottas and Ocon pretty quickly. But last time around, Verstappen and Hamilton did the same lap time, 22.4. So we need to keep an eye out. We've still got 23 laps of this race remaining. So I think the key phase here is going to be the last 10 laps of the race. Are those medium tyres going to drop off in pace or not? I really don't think Red Bull predicted this. With due respect, I think this, if Verstappen goes on and wins this and the tyres last, it's an element of a good drive, but also a bit of luck, because I don't think anyone predicted that the tyres would last like this and not degrade as they had. Verstappen mainly started on the soft tyre to get a good drive down into the first corner, off the start line. And yeah, I think the fact that the tyres are not degrading is just something that has been unfortunate for Mercedes. They were, if it pans out that way, because really the one stop Mercedes were ahead of the Red Bull in regards to strategy call, but we'll see. 100 likes, hey, thank you guys. Over 500 people in the stream. Big thank you to everyone. Yeah, if you haven't subbed already, please do. Much appreciated. And if you want to join as a member for less than a coffee, you can join as a member, get a nice sub badge, nice emojis, and yeah, help support my stream even further. So yeah, thank you to all my members out there. Do have a couple. But yeah, so Russell coming up behind Vettel now, who's being lapped. But Sainz and Leclerc getting a bit more on pace now with a 22.6, mid 22.6s. They've been pretty much boring race for them. They're 45 seconds behind Verstappen. So Mercedes are really reiterating to their drivers at the moment, guys, that the mediums are gonna fall off. They're saying it's gonna be like Miami again, where Perez comes back to you. He's got to go 20 laps further stint than they did at the start on the mediums. So you do have the lighter fuel load, as we said, less load being put through the car. So it's not over yet. It's just whether or not if those mediums are gonna fall off. Can Lewis put the hammer down? Well, at the moment, we're playing, it's the long game. Not we, because I'm not overall a fan. I am a fan of Mercedes. I'm a fan of Hamilton and Russell's. More so than I am Red Bull. Openly admit that. But I'm not purely just a Mercedes fan. But overall, Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton and Russell, they're all playing the long game at the moment. More so, Hamilton and Russell. They're hoping, or they're banking on the fact that the medium tyres are going to fall off and they're going to come back to them. That's what they're hoping for. It's just whether or not if that's going to happen. So it is playing the waiting game at the moment, guys. Not very electric. Not really a lot of on-track overtaking, but there's potential we could have a grandstand finish here, guys. Don't think Verstappen can afford to pit unless we get a safety car. Yes, unless we get a safety car, Verstappen is going to the end of the race. I think they've seen with Perez stuck behind Hamilton that you can't get close enough to really make... I think the Mercedes is too good through the twisty sections that they can't get close enough to make use of the DRS. They don't have that straight line speed or enough of a straight line speed advantage to make up the time on the Mercedes like they did in Kota last weekend. So I think their only plan now really is to take that tyre to the end. Such a big cat, Leclerc and Alonso. Yeah, mate, the two Ferraris they're 25 seconds behind Russell, Sainz, and they're 26 seconds or 27 seconds ahead of Alonso. They are just running their own race. A very boring day out for Sainz and Leclerc today, guys. Hamilton will be able to close the gap, but won't be able to overtake due to top speed. Well, maybe, but as we just said, the Mercedes is better through the high downforce sections of this track. So they'll be able to stick closer to Verstappen, to the Red Bulls, if this happens, and get the grip out of the corners compared to Perez and Verstappen, who are on old wearing medium tyres. So, but yeah, so Gasly has got ahead of Tsunoda, it seems, and Joe has got ahead of Tsunoda as well. What has happened to Tsunoda? Tsunoda's had a little bit of a wobble. He's just lost 2 positions there. Has he had to back out? But just watching on TV, Danny Rick was having a go at Tsunoda. Is this where this went wrong for Tsunoda? Did he get forced out off track? Oh, Danny Rick! Danny Rick and Tsunoda! I need to see that again to see exactly whose fault that was. But I feel like Tsunoda might have had to have left a bit of room there for Danny Rick. I don't think he let enough. Danny Rick did have his rear wheel up alongside him. Need to see it again. I don't really know. Martin Brundle thinks it was Danny Rick. I need to see it again just to see exactly what happened. But yeah, he's got front wing damage, Tsunoda. So Tsunoda is having to pit. Yeah, maybe it was a bit of a dive from Danny Rick. Come on, show a replay, Sky. Show a replay. Come on. I want to see it. At the point of contact, Danny Rick was up kind of alongside him. But yeah, maybe it was a bit of a dive. Come on, show it again. But 23-0 from Hamilton that time around. He's now going through traffic. So we're going to see a bit of... Hamilton is going to probably lose a little bit of time here to Verstappen now. Do I think Hamilton will win? I don't know. I really don't know because it all depends. It is all dependent on if that medium tyre is going to fall off. That's what Mercedes are banking on for. And we'll see. We'll see. Oh, no. So Tsunoda's having to retire. He's having to retire the car. So here we go. Here's the incident again. Ricciardo goes up the inside. Tries to do the cutback on Tsunoda. Sends it up. Ooh, yeah. It was a bit... Hang on. Watching it from Ricciardo again. His position. So turns in. Tries to do the cutback on Tsunoda. Drives in and... Ooh, no, it's Danny Rick's fault, that one. Yeah, it's Danny Rick's fault. It's a late move. Tsunoda is already turning into the corner. He can't leave him any more room. So, yeah, that's Danny Rick's fault, unfortunately, which is a shame. I'm very harsh on Tsunoda. Anyone who's new to the stream, I think he's lucky to have a seat for next year. But that's definitely a retirement that isn't his fault. But yeah, let's get back to the race at hand. So 22.5 for Verstappen, 22.6 from Hamilton this time around, 22.5 from Perez. Hamilton, Bono confidently coming over to the radio to Lewis and saying, yes, in response to your question, we are on the right tyre. We are going to get to the end. No sweat. So Mercedes reiterating once again that they're banking on Verstappen and Perez, both of their tyres starting to drop off. Time will tell, guys. Time will tell. Tell us about Gotifi. Oh dear, he's back in last position. Where has that happened? And that's all we need to say about Latifi. I'm crying here hard. The wife is pissy because she wants me to watch series, and I'm like, come on, Lewis. She does watch it, but a bit pissy because of last year. Yeah, I think last year, while it was very close, the last race was a bit of a farce, wasn't it? Really, when you had all eyes of the world on that race, and you made it a little bit of a, it was a bit of a circus in the end, wasn't it? And people were like, very casual fans who might have become fans of the sport after that race were like, huh? This is too confusing. What's just happened? Something wasn't right, and probably lost a lot of potential fans in F1 because of what happened at the end of last year. Yes, but so 22.9 from Hamilton last time around. Max a 22.5. He's now on the back of Alonso. So this is going to be this is going to be only the Ferraris who would not, a top 6, who won't be lapped this race. That is mad. Look at that gaggle of cars at the bottom of your screen there in the track, guys. Round turn 6. Wow. Perez sticking close to Hamilton as they get through traffic, though. Blue flag will now be waved for Norris. Hopefully, Hamilton will be able to get through Norris and Bottas pretty quickly before they get into the stadium. Hamilton has to be within 8 seconds from Verstappen in the last 10 laps. Yeah, I think he's going obviously through traffic at the moment. And Norris is holding up Perez here as they go through the stadium. Oh dear, not what Perez needed. Not what Perez needed at all. This is giving a bit of breathing space for Hamilton. And I think Hamilton might get a bit of a toe off of Bottas as well. So, bit of breathing space there for Hamilton, although Perez will now get the toe from Norris down into the main straight. So he'll probably regain that time. Latifi's hards didn't work. No, he clearly came in too early. He's now on a fresh set of softs. But racing incident or penalty? It's... I don't know how I would say that. I don't know. Tsunoda kind of showed him the door a little bit because he wasn't tight enough to the apex. So it's like he invited him into it. I can see why a penalty would be dished out, but I can also see why a penalty wouldn't be given, if that makes sense. So it's a difficult one, and I think the FIA don't want to give out penalties. We definitely know they don't want to give out penalties where they can. So we'll see. We'll see what they say about it. 10-second penalty for Danny. 10 seconds? What? Has he got 10 seconds? No. He's got 10-second penalty. Okay. Clearly they do want to dish out penalties. I need to see it back again and analyse it and see, but... I felt like Tsunoda did show him a little bit of the door, but not enough for Rick to go through. Bit wishful thinking. We'll see. Latifi is the most consistent driver on the grid. Yeah, you can't argue with that. You can't argue with that. But 22-1 for Verstappen last time around. So Hamilton is now past all of the lap traffic other than the two Alpines. He's lost a bit of time there getting through that bunched up traffic. Nearly 12 seconds behind. So, yeah, Red Bull going to be asking Max probably to push. We're now entering the critical phase of this race where Mercedes, in the last 10 laps, reckon those medium tyres are going to fall off. Is it going to happen, guys? The way that Max is setting lap times at the moment, it seems like he's okay. Only 6 cars will do the full race distance, yeah. That's mad, isn't it? I haven't seen the time penalty be dished out yet. Has it been dished out to Danny Rick? But yeah, we will see. So Ricciardo is on an overtake over Bottas, and he is up into P9. Danny Rick, well done. Hope yet to see a penalty dished out. I don't know if it's been dished out yet, but yeah, if Red Bull are able to do 45 laps on the medium tyres, to be honest, that is something that no one saw at the start of this race and at the early stages of this race. I don't think that is Mercedes' bad call. I think that's a bit of an element of luck, to be honest, that has happened. Because I think most people thought it was going to be a two-stop strategy here. Who would think that you'd be able to do over half of the race on a track temperature that is in the 40 degrees on a set of medium tyres? I think that's something that Pirelli need to look at. I think they've got their tyre compounds a little bit mixed up this year. Because this race, it's 37 degrees now, actually. So the track is cooling a bit, so that's helping. But should you be able to do 45 laps on a set of medium tyres around here? It was dished out a few minutes ago. Danny Rick, was it? Okay. Which race do you think is the most controversial race this year? Controversial? Trying to think of the controversies we've had this year on track. I don't know, really. Maybe you can enlighten me. I've just had a memory like a goldfish. So, yeah, critical phase now, guys. Mercedes really hoping that Verstappen's lap times drop off now. 33 laps on those medium tyres. Will it happen? We've got 12 laps remaining. And apparently Red Bull have told Max Verstappen, lean on the tyre harder if you want to. So I think Red Bull are pretty confident he can get those to the ends. Wow. Hamilton. Is Alonso going to let Hamilton pass? He's been given blue flags. He should allow him to get past. We know how Alonso doesn't always play by the rules. And what a surprise. Fernando Alonso does not let Hamilton pass at the end of the main straight, even though he has been given blue flags. He must do it now, surely, as they go down this second straight. And Alonso does. But cheekily, Hamilton lost just a couple of extra attempts there due to Alonso not letting him pass through turn 1. What a surprise. Japan has been controversial. Yeah, I think Japan has been controversial more due to necessarily the FIA not applying the rules or the mix-up of the rules and the points decisions. But that's about it, really. There hasn't really been any controversy out on track in regards to race results. It's been a pretty straightforward year, to be honest, isn't it? Right, so now we have 11 laps remaining. This is going to be hammer time now, I think. This is where Hamilton needs to take his life out of his hard tyres and try and close up the gap on Verstappen and just hope that his medium tyres fall off. But George saying that he's not happy on this tyre. Nothing that he can do. But yeah, Elgato said 10-second penalty. Martin Brundle also saying 5-second would be right. 10 seconds is harsh. Does seem harsh because George Russell got a 5-second penalty last week for the incident with Sainz. So, consistency. FIA, guys. FIA. But go on, Danny Rick. You can do it. You can still finish in the points. He is 6 seconds ahead of Bottas, and he's on fresher softs. So go on, buddy. You can do it. He's 2 tenths behind Ocon. He is on it. He is on it. Hamilton saying the medium looks quick, mate. Are they going to the ends? And yeah, they are, mate. They are. Well, nothing's over until it's over, is it? Oh, Danny Rick. Danny Rick, nice move on Alonso, buddy. Nice move on Alonso. He is going to eat up Ocon. Go on, Danny Rick. Oh, look at him. He's already on the back of Ocon. So much grip out of that last corner. Go on, the boy. Go on, Danny boy. Oh, amazing. Is he going to be able to keep up with Perez? Possibly. Most likely, because Perez is on 30 lap old mediums and Ricciardo's on softs. Well done, Danny Rick. Now break that run. He needs to break that run now, and he's got 9 laps to make up a 10-second gap. Will he be able to do it? I think realistically, he might not be able to do it too. Alonso, unbelievable, mate. What a season. What a season. Some of the stuff he comes out with. It's gold, isn't it? Gold. But yeah, Russell getting past Ocon. Who would have thought Russell would be this far back, really, behind them? Is he going to be able to catch Perez? Not so sure. He's 4.5 seconds back. Maybe. Maybe. Perez did a 22.9 last time around. Let's see what he can do this time. Is Perez starting to see the fall off here? Perez did a 23.3. Okay, this is interesting, guys. So is Perez starting to see his medium tyres fall off? Is this the moment? He was a second slower that time around, and I don't think he had to deal with any traffic. I think they've been in clean air for 2 laps. So is Danny Rick, well, not Danny Rick, but is Perez gonna fall into George Russell's hands? This is a possibility. Perez got spooked by Rick in his mirror. Possibly. But George Russell has now cleared Ocon. So interesting to see what Russell can do in clean air. Can he catch Perez? Or is it a case of... Well, it's definitely not a case of Hamilton just being quicker than Perez. But we will see. So, but Hamilton has to make up 13 seconds on Verstappen. Is this where the mediums start to fall off a little bit? Interesting. Let's watch Verstappen's time here. What does he do? He did a 22.5 last time around. This time he does a 22.7. 2 tenths slower. What does Hamilton do? Hamilton on the hard tyre. Is he able to do another low 22? Yes, a 22.3. Again, is this the stage of the race where the medium tyre is losing its grip? Perez does another 23.0. Perez losing more time to Hamilton. Oh, is this the stage, guys? But Verstappen makes up time on that Mercedes down the main straights in this first sector, or first couple of sectors. Where Hamilton makes up the time is through the S's and the stadium. But are the medium tyres going to fall off enough for this to happen? Not so sure. Not so sure. Mercedes fan, welcome, buddy. Not enough laps left, to be honest. Yeah, possibly, Edward. Possibly. But see how much time Hamilton makes up through the S's here. Does he make up any time? He does, but not enough. Not enough. Maybe Verstappen's now leaning a little bit more on the tyre, knowing that the last couple of laps weren't particularly great. But Perez is definitely the one struggling on those medium tyres compared to Verstappen, and Verstappen just re-answers there with a 22.4, and I think Hamilton probably is about to do another 22.3. Let's see. He is indeed 3 laps in a row where he does a 22.3. Not quick enough. Not quick enough. Then Verstappen. Yeah, Verstappen's going to Hamilton's going to come too short here. Red Bull, a bit fortunate if you ask me, that the medium tyre has ended up lasting this long. They took the soft tyre. It was only really struggling due to the graining, not the actual tyre life of the tyre. But yeah. So Norris has now overtaken Bottas. Oh, and there's a yellow flag, guys. Where's the yellow flag? Who's gone off? And Alonso has stopped. Oh, okay. Are we getting a grandstand finish? Is there going to be a safety car? Because Alonso has stopped on track there, it seems, in turn 2. Is this a spin, or has he had a mechanical failure? Oh, here we go. Is this a safety car? Is this a virtual safety? It's a virtual safety car. It's a virtual safety car. So, where has Alonso stopped? Are they able to remove that car safely? There is 6 laps remaining once Verstappen crosses the line here. I don't think they're going to take a pit stop. Hamilton's not going to take a pit stop until they know it's a safety car. I'm waiting for it to happen on TV. Alonso. Okay, so Alonso has pulled off enough to get that car. He's pulled off in a runoff area, I think. So I think they'll be able to get that car safely away without a safety car. I don't think this is going to be a full safety car. But the engine's gone. Not pitting is the correct choice, yeah. I mean, this doesn't really do much for the race, guys, because all it does is just negate the race. The virtual safety car is already ending, guys. It's already ending, and Hamilton is not close enough. Hamilton has actually lost time under the safety car. He is 18 seconds behind Verstappen. Oh, now it's back to 15. So Hamilton has actually lost time under the delta in the safety car. Hamilton caught sleeping. This is race over now, guys. I think really. Oh, there's a lag. Oh, I thought my internet cut out there, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, 66 out of 71 laps completed. That helped Verstappen a little bit in regards to tyre life. No conspiracies, Tom. Just a bit of luck, really, I think, from Red Bull. A bit of luck that the tyres just... While they went onto the medium tyres and were probably looking to do a two-stop, they saw the guys, the midfield, go very long on the medium tyres in regards to their tyre life and decided to just stay on it. Whereas Mercedes were already banking on a one-stop strategy with the hard tyre. They saw the medium tyre fall off in their stint, and it's just not happened. It's just not happened to the Red Bull. So we're going to see Max go 44 laps, or 46, 45 laps on this medium tyre, which is just obscene. George very, very unhappy. Mercedes are still trying to G up their drivers and say, look, their tyres will be worse than yours. So, but Danny Rick is currently 8 seconds ahead of Ocon. Danny Rick here, guys, is going to pull a 10-second lead on Ocon and negate that 10-second penalty he's been given. Wow. Come on, Danny Rick. You can do it, buddy. He's so much quicker than Ocon. He's easily going to do this. Look at that interval time. Just, oh. Danny Rick's actually catching up with Perez. He's going to unlap himself. Go on, buddy. Hamilton saying that Verstappen pulled a bit of a gap under VSC. Possibly. I don't think so, though. I don't know if Hamilton was sleeping or not. Don't think so. So only 2 retirements this race. I really thought we'd see... We've only seen 1 mechanical failure, guys, and that's Alonso with his engine. I thought we'd see more. I thought we would see a lot more. But Bottas now under threat here from Alex Albon, of all people. Wow. So this is the thing. The soft... Who knew that you'd be able to do a medium to soft? Or a soft to medium one stop today? I did not think that would be the case. And I think, yeah, some teams have lucked out here. Williams seemed to be one of those as well. At 28 laps, Albon is on the soft tyre. And he's lapping... He's on 28 lap softs, by the way, guys. Put this in comparison. Albon is on 28 lap old softs. Older than Bottas's harder tyres. And he's lapping over a second quicker than Bottas. Ridiculous. The difference in these tyres today. It's like completely flipped on its head than what it normally is. Just want to be seen on screen clout chasing. I'm not ready for Audi to join a sport. I will be in 4 years' time. A little way yet for them to join. But yeah, Verstappen 14 seconds ahead. So unless there's some mechanical failure or something, this is Verstappen's win here, guys. He is going to win this race by 14 seconds with, to be honest, a lucky strategy. And he is going to win his 14th race of the season, beating the all-time record of wins in a season and most points scored in an F1 season as well, which is obviously we know anyway because of the amount of points that are available now compared to years gone by. So, but Danny Rick is now 10 seconds ahead of Ocon. Go on, the boy. Go on. Good man. Yes, the Red Bull has been amazing all tyres this season, but they haven't won this really due to them being good with their tyres, because everyone has been good with their tyres here. It's just been a case of the soft tyres, the tyres just haven't degraded as was expected. Everyone's pretty much using old soft tyres. So Russell's coming into the pits. He's not happy on those hards. Probably going to come in for a fastest lap. But yeah, this just turned out that no one foresaw this race starting on a soft tyre that you would be taking those mediums to the end. No one saw that. Definitely not. And Mercedes, that's why it was a bit of a spanner in the works when I saw Mercedes start on a medium tyre, because it's like, oh, okay, are they going medium, medium, soft, or are they going to a one-stop? And they were going to a one-stop. And it just, they've been quite fortunate enough that when they went onto the medium tyre, when they did, because they were the first of the soft runners to pit, they saw teams take them on for 40 laps. And Red Bull have gone, hang on a second, we can take these to the end. Who would have thought that? And it turns out it's been a masterstroke. And they haven't fallen off as Mercedes predicted. Max is still doing mid-22s on 45 lap old mediums. Pierre Gasly is doing mid-23s with 28 lap old soft tyres. So here we are, guys, on the last lap. Now, thank you for the sub, buddy, or follow, sorry, on Twitch. Final lap, guys. I really thought this would be a little bit more of a grandstand finish. It hasn't turned out that way. If I'm honest, it's turned out to be a little bit more of the Mexican Grand Prix that I thought it was going to be, which is a little bit boring, if I'm honest. Not a lot of on-track overtaking, even in the midfield section. Seemed like it, even though we've got the new regulations that allow cars to follow closer, the flow of this track just isn't great. I'll say it again, they need to get rid of the stadium section. It's great as a spectacle. It's probably great for lining people's pockets, the organisers' pockets, selling tickets, but ultimately, it just ruins the flow of this track. Ruins the flow. 45 mediums faster than 41 hards. Yeah, it's been... Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? And here we go, last corner, Max Verstappen across the line. He is your race winner once again. How many times? Well, we've said that 14 times this season now, guys. And Hamilton comes round the last corner and finishes second. Outdone on strategy today. Not by outright pace, just on strategy. Who would have thought mediums would go that long? Perez finishes third, another podium. His second podium in the row at the Mexican Grand Prix. Danny Rick finishes 12 seconds ahead of Ocon, negating his 10-second time penalty for his incident with Tsunoda. Brilliant result. Brilliant result for Danny Rick. And Sainz and Leclerc will come across the line in 5th and 6th. Ocon, finishes 8th position. Norris, 9th. So a good points haul there for McLaren over Alpine. Sandwiching the Alpine of Ocon. Russell comes across the line, setting a 20.1 on the soft tyre. So who knows? Maybe if they committed to a two-stop, Russell might have been able to have made up a bit of time. I'll have to do some maths there with how quick a lap time he just set at the end of the race. Bottas finishing with a point. Get in there, Bottas. Well-deserved, guys. He thoroughly deserved that. Gasly just finishing in 11th position. Just over half a second. Albon, 12th. Zhou, 13th. Vettel and Stroll, 14th and 15th. The two Haases, Mick Schumacher and Magnussen, is 17th. And Latifi, where else would he be? 2 laps down at the bottom of the finishers. And Alonso and Tsunoda retired. So there we go, guys. Not the most interesting of races I thought it was going to pan out to be, especially when we saw the varying strategies. But those tyres just did... Who knows how long you could have taken those tyres for? Who knows how long you could have taken them for? Really thought it'd be closer. But yeah, turns out that those medium tyres, you can drive around the world in them. But great, Max. Well, Gerard, I think it is an element of luck because of the way the strategy played out. That I've said it, say it again. No one expected the medium tyre to last that long, or the soft tyres. And when Red Bull went onto those medium tyres, they were one of the first to go on them. And then they saw that everyone who was on the medium tyres, and Vettel on the soft tyres in particular, took his soft tyres to 38 laps. It's like, these aren't degrading. We can take these to the end of the race. And of course, feedback from the driver as well just shows that, yeah, the medium tyre. I mean, they could have gone fifth. You probably could have run the whole race on that medium tyre today. How often do we say that? How often do we say that you could take one tyre, especially a medium tyre, a medium compound tyre, probably at 90% of the race distance? Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I think it's a bit of a foul on Pirelli's part, if you ask me, because that should have been a two-stop race. And it makes things more interesting for us. The reason that wasn't interesting was because it was a one-stop race. If we saw two stops, it didn't happen. But the positive here is that Mercedes were a lot closer. Still don't think they'll... I'll say it again as I did last week. I don't think they'll be there next weekend or the last two races. Just because it's going to fall a bit more into Red Bull's hands. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, of course, look, it's skill. Max still has to do the job out on track. And we keep saying it, in his hands, that Red Bull car is something to behold. So, but yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you, Lemon. Thank you, Spartan. And anyone else who has subbed, much appreciated, guys. So yeah, let's have a rundown of the grid here, guys. Verstappen beats Hamilton to P1. He has got the all-time record now, guys, of 14 race wins in a season. Unbelievable achievement. And the most points as well. Bill Dog, thank you for the follow, buddy, on Twitch. We have Perez, another podium in Mexico. Brilliant. I want to see how the fans go in that stadium because they're going to go mental. Probably not as big of a high as it was last year because he was hoping to win here today. Russell in P4, not happy whatsoever. Sainz and Leclerc in the Ferraris, what a boring day at the office it was for them. Yeah, they'll be bored out of their minds in the interviews afterwards. Danny Rick, there's no other person I'm putting up for driver of the day. Danny Rick is your driver of the day, guys. A 10-second time penalty for a very ambitious overtake on Tsunoda. A harsh 10-second penalty, if you ask me. And he makes that gap on Ocon to finish P7. He beats Norris. What a drive from Danny Rick. What a drive. Thank you, Tom. Nice to see you, buddy. Almost 11 p.m. here. Yeah, it's approaching 10 p.m. here. It's not interesting because they're not in equal cars. No, it's there was more equal. There was in equal cars today. I think definitely there was in equal cars today, but strategy came into effect here today. Mercedes thought they took the right strategy at the time. Turns out, as the race evolved, Verstappen realised, or Red Bull realised, that they could take that medium tyre to the end. There's no way. I don't reckon. I'd be interested to hear from Red Bull. Actually, we won't hear from Red Bull from Sky F1, will we? Because they're not being interviewed by them. But I'd be interested to hear. I don't think they planned on taking that medium tyre 46 laps. Do you? No chance. Perez nearly 50 laps on the medium tyre. That was a decision that they made while they was on the medium tyre rather than when they first put it on. No chance. Mercedes, I think, made the right decision. Turned out, a bit of luck, that the race went more on the Red Bull side. It happens. This is racing. Imagine if F1s were street legal. Oh, God. Absolutely. I'm glad they're not street legal, because imagine if everyone had an F1 car. People can barely drive their normal cars, let alone an F1 car. No Red Bull cheating. No, it's not Red Bull cheating. I think they was just a bit fortunate in regards to the way the strategy panned out today. But it happens. Sometimes other teams are benefited from that. I need to see further down the grid who actually did benefit from it. But Bottas was someone who became... I'll tell you what, who did benefit from it? Danny Ricciardo. Danny Ricciardo benefited from it because he took those medium tyres up to nearly 50 laps, didn't he? I think it was 43, 44 laps he took them up to, and then went the rest of the race on the softs. So he was a massive beneficiary of what of how the race panned out in regards to tyre use. And Norris was someone who lost. So was Bottas, because Bottas especially because he also was going for the one stop, mediums to hards, like the Mercedes, and turned out everyone else around him just had the extra grip on the softer compound tyres. So, yeah, an interesting race strategy-wise, not so interesting out on track, to say the least, guys. But yeah, just listening to the interviews at the moment, not really much interesting to say. But let's have a look at Twitter, as we always do after the race. So just to remind you guys, this was Pirelli's strategies at the start of the race. This was their predicted strategies. So they were saying the ideal was a two-stop. The quickest was a two-stop. Very close was a one-stop, medium to hards, which is what Mercedes went to. They thought alternative would be a two-stop, soft to medium to hard, to soft. And then they thought, the medium to soft would be the slowest. Probably viable, but something that they probably didn't expect. They definitely didn't expect to take these soft tyres to 30 laps and then take them to the end of the race. Or 20, Max did 46 laps, so he took them, 30 odd laps, didn't he? Like 28 laps. So it's, that's to put it in comparison in regards to how that race panned out today. But let's have a look at what some people on Twitter have to say. Hamilton was not letting Russell stay ahead there. Proper ballsy moving your teammates so early in the race. We'd love to see Ferrari battle in full too. Is there any like new up-to-date comments, guys? Come on, let's have a look. No one's really saying anything. Hang on. Mercedes is definitely coming back. I cannot wait to see them racing the Red Bulls again. I know Twitter can't handle it, but I can't wait for it. Yep, same here. And that is from a former Red Bull performance engineer, guys. Break F1. Go give him a follow. Mercedes have set out their stall, up to Red Bull to choose whether to hang out or hunt. Yep, and they did. They did. I agree as well. Alcohol would make this race better. It did need a couple of drops, didn't it? So top man, Danny Rick received 10-second time penalty. And he managed to finish 12 seconds ahead. Yep, guys, go follow the Missed Apex podcast. I will be appearing on their podcast this evening to talk about the race. Or remember to just turn your notifications on and follow them for your Monday commute tomorrow. It'll be an interesting podcast. Looking forward to it. Someone saying that Mercedes strategy is probably going to backfire. There are so many options here. We're close to undercut, but also have a tyre advantage to attempt an overcut. So yeah, a lot of people saying on strategy as well. Like, look, it was a bit up in the air. Just so happens that F1 has been an absolute stink. This race has been an absolute stinker so far. See, I told you guys. I hold my hands up that I am correct now. I'm correct that Mexico should not be on the calendar. Live by the sword, die by the sword. I said it should be removed. It's a bit boring. Nothing ever happens. And it turns out that was the case again today. But, yeah. Interesting to say the least. Well, guys, I have got a podcast to go and prepare for. I would stay here and chat a lot longer, but I need to go and make some notes and prepare for the podcast in about an hour's time. They're in the room at the moment, the cool down room. Let's see if they have anything to say. I'm sure Lewis will make a comment in regards to the medium tyre, or maybe he's too pissed off to make anything. To say anything. Not really saying anything at the moment. Lewis probably not wanting to discuss anything with them. Just Perez and Max having a bit of idle chit chat. But yeah, guys, a big thank you to everyone who has stopped by. Still 150 of you here. Much appreciated. If you can hit the subscribe button, I really would appreciate it. Let me have a look how many we got. We got 124 likes on the the stream. Big thank you, guys. Love that. And just before I do end the stream, we're on 7,155 subscribers. So a big thank you. But yeah, not the most interesting of races. The tyre degrading ruined that for us, to be honest. I thought we was in for a little bit more of an interesting race with a potential two-stop. That's really the story here. But also, Max Verstappen is the winner again this season, 14 times. The most of anyone in a single F1 season. But a positive that Mercedes were on a pretty similar pace to those Red Bulls, just outdone on strategy. So yeah, guys, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time for Brazil. We've got 2 weeks now until Interlagos. I will be streaming some sim races in between those as well, and posting some F1 opinion content. But as I said, I'll be appearing on the Missed Apex podcast in about an hour's time, or just over an hour's time, to discuss everything in this race and more. So yeah, big thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Have a lovely rest of your evening or morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.